Hello everyone out there and welcome to this, another edition of a late night screen review. This week, we're talking about Five Nights at Freddy's. So yeah, you might be able to tell that this is a bit of an impromptu video. I initially wasn't going to go see Five Nights at Freddy's. We're really busy just kind of prepping for Hull Horror Fest that's this Saturday, the 28th of October. So it's our first kind of appearance going out into the world for the show. So we're really excited, but we've got a lot of work to do. So wasn't going to go see the film, but then decided very last minute to, hey, why not? Let's just go see the film. So it was late night. It was about 9 o'clock showing, 9:30, at the Nottingham Cineworld, and I thought, well, it'll be pretty dead. I mean, yeah, it's opening night, but who's gonna be there on a Wednesday? Turns out everybody. The queue was out of the building practically. There was lines and lines and lines of people to go to the concession stands. It was absolute mayhem. I vastly underestimated the popularity of Five Nights at Freddy's, the video game. It came out like in 2014, and at that point I was a little bit on the older side to kind of play that kind of computer game and just wasn't really into it. So I knew about it and other people played it and stuff, so I had like a rough idea of the concept of what the film was about. But I can't say I was a real fan, but apparently a lot of people are a massive fan of this film. It was a completely packed cinema. Wall to wall. I've never had an experience like it. People were cheering and whooping every 5 minutes, every time a character popped up. It was almost like an AI bot had written a fan service the movie for Five Nights at Freddy's, because there was seemingly a lot of fan service if you're a fan of Five Nights at Freddy's. I had very little idea about what was going on, and I was probably the oldest person in that cinema by a good 15 years, so that didn't feel great. Trying to enjoy the movie whilst a bunch of like 20-somethings are crunching popcorn, shouting at each other on their mobile phones is a interesting experience at the cinema. So it was a kind of dual thing for me. It was weird because it was a packed cinema and people were cheering, and that's kind of cool, but at the same time, people's attentions didn't seem to be really that much on the movie. Having said that, though, the film was given a round of applause at the end of the film, so people seemed to really enjoy it. And listening to like the fans kind of leaving the cinema at the end, that people were buzzing. They absolutely loved it. For me, what did I think about Five Nights at Freddy's? Well, it's got to be said, I thought it was terrible. Well, maybe not terrible. It's a slight exaggeration, but for me, it was a weird, again, a night of dualities, but like it was a weird dual film because the main character, who's Mike, who's basically the security guard, guarding this old restaurant that used to have animatronic mascots, in the 80s, a la Chuck E. Cheese. He's a desperate guy. He's got a young sister that he's trying to take care of, no mum and dad. And he's trying to make ends meet, so he takes this late night job at Five Nights at Freddy's, and bad things happen over the course of a few nights. But at the same time as that, and it's all kind of silly, and it's jump scare galore, and there's some gore, and it's obviously about killer animatronics. At the same time, the film is quite kind of weirdly psychological about Mike's past and the fact that his younger brother, when he was a child, was kidnapped by some man, and he was there when it happened, and he can't get over it psychologically, and he keeps going into his dreams to relive the memory of that awful day, and it's quite like dramatic and hard-hitting, and it's just like, I can't really put my finger on this movie. Is it a serious kind of psychological thriller movie, or is it a silly, goofy, off-the-wall horror film about killer mascots? And it's almost like the film couldn't make its mind up. And on top of that, it was just really lazily written. Like, the scenes just jumped from one to another. characters were doing things when they either shouldn't be, or it didn't make any sense. It's like, hold on, weren't they just over there? Like, why are they now here? And wasn't they wearing... They were wearing clothes before, but now they're wearing something else, and it just didn't seem to kind of flow in a narrative progression. And you know, all the dialogue is just very choppy, and to be honest, not even that well acted. I think the best performance was the young the young sister, who's, you know, obviously I don't know 8-10 years old, whatever. But yeah, I couldn't lock into the movie. There was some funny bits. There was some like weird funny bits but the humor came from more like, what is going on? Why is that happening now? As opposed to, oh, that's a very cleverly funny written dialogue. I was more laughing out of bafflement than anything else. It was just a very paint by numbers horror film to some extent, and then the other half of it is just very kind of cliched, melodramatic, kind of thriller, drama film. Again, it's all very kind of lazily written. It's you know, it's kind of like, I feel like the script could have done with 2 or 3 more rewrites. I don't know. If I guess to me, it's a fan service film for people that are Five Nights at Freddy's fans. And I guess if you are a fan, you love these games, I can see how you would get a really good kick out of seeing this game turned into a live movie. But for me, as somebody that's not too familiar, and I'm more of a cinephile, I'm more of just a straight horror movie fan, this film just left me wanting, really. And for some of it I didn't understand, which is, I guess, fair enough, but surely if you're not a fan of the film, you should be able to at least follow what's going on. I don't know. Thematically, the film's all over the place. It's like a film of 2 halves, so it doesn't know what kind of film it wants to be. I don't know. Like, for me, if you're a hardcore Five Nights at Freddy's fan, you're gonna love this movie. If you're a fan of somebody that you know, you like consistent dialogue, you like cleverly written scripts, you like things that aren't just stupid jump scares every 5 minutes, then you're gonna hate this movie. Like, I can't see how just a general horror fan is gonna be a fan of this film. And if you're somebody that's just a casual cinema goer, I just avoid this film. It's not worth paying for. It's not a recommend from me. I didn't really enjoy Five Nights at Freddy's. I don't want to see a sequel. Although, to be honest, it did make me curious about playing the game, so maybe there's that to be said. But apart from that, I wouldn't recommend this film. As I say, this is just an impromptu review. You know, hopefully we're going to see people on Saturday at Hull Horror Fest on the 28th. I think the doors are opening at 10 o'clock in the morning, I think. And we're going to have our stall, our Jack Horrorhound stall there. And we're going to have Galveston there live, and some props and some merchandise and all kinds of great stuff. So come and chat to us. We can't wait to see you. So hope to see you there. And until then, guys, stay safe, stay scared, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye.